So a quick update on the Rover. We're getting close. I've been really swamped at work the last week, so I haven't had much time out here. But I spent a couple hours here today and a couple the other day. So brakes are all done. They're all set up, lines are run, bled, adjusted, good to go. Clutch hydraulics is almost all done. I'm waiting for one very obscure brake line fitting that goes onto the clutch slave, and I've ordered one in from the States. Can't find one anywhere in Canada. 7/16 by 20. Doesn't sound that odd. Long. That's the problem. 7/16 by 20 long. But anyway, engine's good to go. Drive stuff is all good to go. Hydraulics for the Hydro Boost and power steering is all good to go. I made this up out of standard lines that I sort of bent and cut and then put back together with compression couplings. It's not real elegant, but I'm perfectly content with it. Rad's all mounted. Good to go. Fans in. I still have to make my new top panel. I have this test one. Alignment there is all great. All the pneumatics is done. All the lines to the back of the truck are done. Really, if I could just get the clutch going, I could drive it. Well, tidy up the seat box just a little bit. And I'm waiting for just a few gaskets to put the gas tank in so that I can put the tub back on. So that's pretty good too. So a couple days, if a few things come in, I'll be able to get it looking pretty much like a truck, and most importantly, take a little test drive and see how that goes. Anyway, check in later. See you around.
So these air valves have really been disappointed. These are electrically controlled pneumatic valves, a 5-way valve so it can open to let air into the bag and open the other way to let air back out through an exhaust port. Again, they have a solenoid at both ends and move a shuttle inside. There's a couple of things about them that I hate. Partly is that they leak. They're really cheap quality. I hate to admit it. They're bought at a local, I won't name names, but they're just, of the 6 I've bought, 3 have leaked internally, and I've had a look at taking them apart to tie them up, but these are made in China, a little disastrous inside, and I'm not going to mess with that. Plus, I came upon sort of realization while I was doing this, and I was putting this nice air box together. I call it the air box because it's going to be full of air stuff. And it was all working fine, but what a sort of ridiculous thing to have electrically cold pneumatic valves within reach of the driver. I can actually control them by pushing on these little orange buttons and to override the electrical, and I said, you know, I don't know if I'll ever even connect these things up. And you know what? I just lost my confidence in them. I really didn't like them. So they still don't have a solution for seeing the actual pressure that's in the bags. I was going to have to tee in some air gauges, and I didn't know quite how I was going to do that either. So you know what I've opted for? 4 little regulators. I can't just press buttons and go up and down, but that's, again, not what I'm looking to do. I really just need to set pressures for the 4 corners of the truck that balance the truck and lift the loads properly. So these nice little regulators will be just a ticket. Basically, wind them out, wind them in, lock them where they are, and I'm all set. They provide a gauge, they provide up and down action, and if there's any leak down or anything like that, they're constantly managed because they're set to a regulator. So every time I start the truck or start the compressor or whatever it is, it tidies everything up. Anyway, we'll play with that for a little while. See ya. One of the things you'll have to think about when you go to a rear tank is how are you going to attach the tabs on the back crossmember to the tub. In a stock 109 pickup, you can reach around underneath the frame to put nuts behind these holes. These ones are easy because they're in the fender well. But here where the rear tank is now, you can't get back here anymore. So what I'm doing, I'm inserting nutserts. The stock situation, or the stock solution for this, was to have a nut plate back there that went on these extra little holes you can see here. But I want to go a little bit slicker than that and insert these rather large nutserts, which some people call them rib nuts. They're basically a nut that can be collapsed. So this whole section here gets crushed when you pull in on the threads, so that it jams into the hole. Now these ones are already in. You can see they're basically now permanently installed nuts that are attached to the car. I put one in here, and I'm just going to show you how I do the last one. One thing you have to do, of course, is enlarge the hole, because that's hole's only about 5/16, maybe 3/8 for the 5/16 nut that goes in here. So we have to drill those out. Now
I did manage to drill left-handed, but I don't think I'm going to be able to use the reamer left-handed because I need a slightly larger than half-inch hole to put the nutsert in. So I reamed the hole out to just over half-inch so the nutsert will fit. So this is the nutsert tool. This is one I've used for quite a few years. Basically, it's got a bolt in it, or a threaded shaft that comes out the end, and what that does is it pulls in on the end of the nutsert. So basically, to use the tool, you simply wind this on here. Trying to do this one hand is a bit of a trick. There we go. Now you insert the tool in the hole, and holding this handle with one hand and twisting this in with the other, it's done. Let me see if I can balance this over here on this 2x4 that's sticking off of here and get this done. Alright, so you just wind her in, and what it's doing on the inside is pulling that back, just like a pop rivet. When you get to the end, it's kind of hard with this metal handle I actually use. They give you a socket for to put a socket wrench on the end, just to get the last little tweak. Don't want to go too far because you don't want to deform it at all. Pull that back off, pull the threads out, and it's all set. One thing I do with every fresh nutsert is I put a little lubricant on here. In this case, it's fluid film, because after all, these threads are pulling very, very hard on these aluminum inserts, and I don't want the threads to gall. I am using aluminum nutserts here, so that my Land Rover is an all aluminum solution still. Now I have bolts that can fit right into the nuts, permanently attached to the tub. I'll get a few more done. See ya. I don't know about you, but I absolutely despise putting the little screws on the speedometer cable plate, and they're just a nightmare, especially using the standard slotted screws. So what I do them with little Allen cap screws, cut them off short, load them up with lots of anti-seize, and then you just slide them right into place there. I can do this while I'm using the camera at the same time, and wind them in. Done. Piece of cake. Time saving too, eh? Well, we got all the fluids in. Radiator's topped up, power steering's got all the fluid in it, transmission, transfer case, all got the fluid in it, front axle, swivels. Decided to use a coiler, Land Rover coiler power steering reservoir, because it worked out really neat. In fact, it's got the right size fittings for the Saginaw steering gear. And so this is all fairly tight. It looks like it's working out pretty well. Okay, so we got a quick mock-up of the seat and stuff. Let's try her out. Pump sounds a bit noisy, but anyway. Starts pretty good. Not quite as smoky as it was before, so it's burned all the oil out of the cylinders. I just bled the power steering, so it's really nice to have power steering in a Land Rover, I'll tell you. And of course the brakes are run off the same power steering. And the brakes are all bled, and they should be all set. So in fact, I'm kind of tempted to take it for a little drive. Let's see how it goes. Alright, let's try it out. Oh geez, I like these brakes. Brakes are falling off here and there. Oh, I really like these brakes. Well, there she is, outside and running. No electric fan yet, so we can't let it get too hot. Battery's kind of temporarily placed. Battery's gonna go in a new toolbox down in here, but it's not there yet. Fuel pump's back here, and it's making more noise than I would have thought it would. But maybe that's just the nature of it. No worries. Well, on the whole, I'm really pleased. Tempted to take it a little further. Let's see what we should do. Great, so let's see, everything's happy up here. No leaks, which is nice, because there's a lot to this power steering setup. No leaks anywhere here, no leaks at the box. No leaks at the booster or the return. I had to make these power steering lines up out of stock lines and cutting them and reconnecting them with compression. I love a 5-speed. I like it. I really like it. Anyway, so that's what we were up to today. I might call it a day and have a few beers. See ya.